Okay, so you're looking to, make your podcast really stand out, and
Sure.
we're about to unpack a ton of really awesome tips from this episode.
Yeah.
Navigating the maze of digital media tools to supercharge your podcast.
It's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful. Get ready, things are about to get seriously meta.
Meta indeed. And you're right, this episode is just jam-packed with really great insights. But, as we go through your notes here,
Yeah.
it's really not about using every single tool. It's about finding the ones that resonate with your style and really help you kind of hit that sweet spot
Totally.
between, professional level quality and keeping your sanity.
Yeah.
Because you need both.
It's so easy to fall into that good enough trap.
It is.
Oh,
yeah.
I used to think, oh, yeah, my podcast sounds, pretty good. And then I heard what it could really sound like.
Yeah, like it's a real aha moment. Like you suddenly realize,
Totally.
wow, there's a whole other level of quality here. That can make your listeners really sit up and pay attention.
Yes.
Think about those podcasts you listen to that just sound so crisp and professional.
Yeah.
The right tools played a big part in getting them there.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I was a diehard Audacity fan for years.
Okay.
Free, easy to use, but editing started to feel like a wrestling match with my laptop.
All right.
It sounded like a jet engine was about to take off every time I rendered an episode.
Oh, wow.
And that's when I stumbled on Hindenburg Journalist Pro.
Okay.
And it has been a game changer.
Yeah.
Like night and day.
See, and that's what I mean about finding the right fit
Yeah.
for your needs. I mean, Hindenburg doesn't get as much buzz as maybe like an Adobe Audition,
Right.
but it's known for being super stable and intuitive, especially for, spoken word audio.
Exactly. It's like it was designed for podcasters.
It's true.
Yeah. But I'm curious from your perspective, what are some of the most common, tech headaches that podcasters face?
Yeah.
What are those pain points that make, having the right tools so essential?
That's a great question. And it really does vary
Yep.
depending on the podcaster.
Sure.
Some people I know really struggle with noisy recording environments.
Right.
That's where a good noise reduction tool can be an absolute lifesaver.
Oh, for sure.
Others might find that the editing process is just tedious and time-consuming, especially if they're working with multiple tracks
Yeah.
or, doing a lot of cleanup. That's where tools like Descript, which
Wow.
we'll get into later, I'm sure,
Yeah.
can be a complete game changer.
I can't wait to dig into that.
Yeah.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, this episode really,
Yeah.
it really drove home the importance of automation for me.
It's huge.
It's not even just about saving time,
Yeah,
though that's a big part of it.
sure.
It's like freeing up your,
Mental bandwidth.
yes,
Yeah.
your mental bandwidth to focus on the creative stuff.
To focus on the fun stuff,
Yes, exactly.
instead of the mind-numbing repetitive tasks.
Yes.
Think about it this way.
Okay.
How much time do you spend
Oh, too much.
every week on these little tasks?
Yeah.
Like sharing your episode to all these different platforms,
Yes.
creating social media posts, answering emails.
Ugh, yeah.
Now imagine if you could automate a big chunk of that.
Game changer, right?
Totally.
Tools like Zapier or IFTTT. It's like having a digital assistant who never sleeps.
It's true.
They connect all your favorite apps and automate those tedious tasks so you can focus on,
The good stuff.
what you do best.
Yeah. Creating that awesome content.
Yes,
That's what it's all about.
exactly.
And the best part is, once you set these automations up,
Yeah.
they just run in the background like magic.
It's kind of magical.
No more frantic late night tweets because you forgot to promote your episode.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Consistency is key in this game.
It is.
And automation tools are your secret weapon to show up consistently even when life gets hectic.
I can totally relate to that feeling of panic. I remember this one time I was talking to this friend, who's new to podcasting.
Okay.
And they were just completely overwhelmed
Yeah.
by the thought of promoting their show. They were
Uh-huh.
on top of everything else, now I have to become a social media guru.
Right.
And I was like, hold on. That's where automation comes in.
Exactly. It's such a common misconception,
Yeah.
But you need to be everywhere all at once, especially when you're just starting out.
Right.
Automation really levels the playing field.
It does.
You can really just focus on your content, your message, without, burning out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is so important.
For sure. Speaking of things that can feel a little overwhelming, this episode got me thinking about AI.
Okay.
Is it really a game changer for podcasters, or is it, mostly hype?
It's definitely a bit of both. I mean, there's a lot of hype around AI right now.
Right.
But I think it's important to remember that these tools are still kind of in their early stages,
Yeah.
They're not going to like replace human creativity or
Right.
connection,
Okay.
but they can definitely enhance them.
Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better. Because honestly, some of these AI tools are getting so good, it's a little unnerving.
I know, right? It's moving fast.
It is.
But if we can kind of shift our perspective
Okay.
and approach AI as more of a collaborator rather than a competitor,
Okay.
it really opens up some really exciting possibilities.
Yeah.
Think of it like, having a super-powered intern
Okay.
who can take care of those repetitive tasks so you can focus on the bigger picture.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
So what are some specific ways that podcasters can use AI to their advantage?
Sure.
This episode mentioned Descript, and it kind of blew my mind.
Yeah. Descript it's a really great example of how AI is, kind of changing the game for audio editing. Remember we were talking about like tedious editing tasks? Yes.
Descript actually transcribes your audio
Wow.
and then lets you edit it like a text document.
Oh, wow.
So like, let's say you want to get rid of an
Right.
or like a really long pause. You just, you highlight it and delete it.
Seriously, that's like magic.
It's pretty close.
And for those of us who are, prone to umming and ahhing,
Right.
it's a lifesaver.
Totally. And the episode also mentioned Clean Voice,
Yeah.
which does that filler word removal automatically.
Oh, it's like built in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the beauty of these AI tools is that they're constantly learning and improving,
Right.
They analyze your voice patterns and they get better over time,
Really?
which means less editing work for you
That's amazing.
down the line. But even, beyond the production side of things,
Okay.
AI can be really powerful for audience growth too.
Now that you mention it, the episode did touch on using AI for things like SEO and social listening. I've heard those terms thrown around a lot. Right.
But I'll admit, I'm not always 100% clear on what they actually mean.
Sure.
Could you, break it down for us?
Of course, yeah. So SEO, or search engine optimization.
Oh, okay.
It's basically the art of making your podcast
Yeah.
easy to find online.
Okay.
So when someone searches for a topic that's related to your podcast,
Right.
you want your show to pop up at the top of the results, right?
Makes sense.
So AI-powered tools like Ahrefs, for example, they can actually analyze your podcast's existing SEO.
Oh?
Figure out, what are the relevant keywords people are actually searching for.
Okay.
And even suggest ways to optimize, like your episode titles, your descriptions,
Right.
to rank higher in those search results.
So it's not even just about sounding good.
Right.
It's about making sure that people can actually find your amazing content.
Exactly.
What about social listening? That one always sounded a little bit like eavesdropping to me.
I can see why. But think of social listening, like tuning into the conversations that are already happening around your niche or your industry.
Okay.
Tools like Brand24 or Mention, which I think the episode mentioned.
Yeah.
They let you track like mentions of your podcast, your guests, even specific topics that you cover.
Wow. Okay, I'm sure to see how that could be really valuable.
Yeah.
It's like getting direct feedback from your target audience.
Exactly. It's incredibly valuable.
What kind of insights can you get from social listening?
Oh, so many. You might discover new topics that your audience is dying to hear about.
Okay.
You might identify potential guests who are already talking about your area of expertise.
Oh, wow.
Or even uncover unexpected opportunities for collaboration.
That's incredible.
It's really about understanding what your listeners are interested in, engaging with them on a deeper level.
There's one more tool from this episode that I have to ask about.
Yeah.
Canva.
Okay.
I never would have thought of it as a must-have for podcasters.
Right.
But the hosts, enthusiasm was contagious.
Yeah.
I usually think of Canva for social media posts.
Yeah.
Or maybe a quick flyer, not necessarily podcasting.
Right. It's easy to forget that even though podcasting is, an audio medium, it doesn't exist in a vacuum.
That's true.
Think about how you discover new podcasts. Chances are it's through a visually appealing graphic on social media,
Right.
a website, with a really strong brand identity.
Yeah.
Even those like eye-catching audiograms.
Yes.
That like autoplay on your feed.
Those audiograms are so cool. It's like a mini trailer for your episode.
Exactly.
They really grab your attention.
They do. And Canva makes it so easy to create those. Even if you have like zero graphic design experience,
Right.
you can create like custom templates for your podcast, experiment with different fonts and colors.
Right.
You can even like add music and sound effects.
That's amazing. I remember the host of that episode shared an anecdote
Yeah.
about creating like a promo graphic for their podcast in Canva,
Okay.
like 5 minutes before their deadline.
Wow.
And they were blown away. It became like their most shared post ever.
That's great.
It just goes to show you sometimes the simplest tools can have the biggest impact.
It's true.
But with all these amazing tools that we've talked about,
Right.
it's easy to feel a little overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Where do you even begin?
You've hit the nail on the head. It's not about using every tool out there, right?
Right.
It's about finding the ones that fit your workflow
Yeah.
and address your specific needs.
Totally.
Start by like identifying what your biggest pain points are.
Okay.
Is it audio quality?
Right.
Is it promotion? Is it consistency?
Yeah.
Once you kind of know what you're trying to solve,
Yeah.
you can start to explore tools
Okay.
that are specifically designed to help.
So it's like building a custom toolkit.
Yes.
For your podcast.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to, to experiment.
Yeah.
Just because a tool works for, one person doesn't mean it's going to be like the perfect fit for you. That's the beauty of, kind of this whole digital landscape. There's always something new to discover.
That's so true. There's like a real sense of excitement,
Yeah.
knowing that there are always new tools and techniques out there
Right.
to help us elevate, what we're doing.
Absolutely. And as you continue on your podcasting journey, just remember, stay curious, embrace, experimenting with things, and never stop learning.
There you have it. Your deep dive into the world of podcasting tools, tailored just for you.
Exactly.
Remember, it's not about the tools themselves. It's about how you use them.
Right.
To, unleash your creativity,
Yes.
streamline your process, and ultimately share your voice with the world.
That's what it's all about.
And who knows, maybe the next game-changing tool is just a download away.
You never know.
Happy podcasting.
Happy podcasting.